But on the flip side, you can be going through all hell, and it can be breaking loose in your life on the outside. But if you have an ounce of joy on the inside, then it can overcome anything that you're going through on the outside. See how that works? Coach Ray, for the great coach over at Bridgewater College, would say it like this: what's on the inside of you is going to come out. It's going to show. It's going to come to light. And it's just like this. A lot of us are Christians until the right situation comes up, and then we're like, oh, God, you know, I gotta go over here. And you know what? The trick will be this. I can tell where your heart lies if the right situation pops up and you choose God, and if you choose against Him. That hurts me. That hurts me. I can tell where you are, and I can tell where your heart lies. I can tell what your insides are saying. But when that hard situation comes up, and you choose man over God, choose your job over God, choose school over God. He created knowledge. The beginning of all knowledge is the fear of God. And here it is, we're getting an education saying, God, we'll get back to you when we finish in 4 years. Gotta study tonight, knowing you ain't gonna study. Gotta read tonight, knowing you ain't gonna read. It's funny, we barely crack our textbooks, but it's even more than we crack our Bible. Come test time, we in our books all day, all night. We're crying for it. But let something come up in our lives where it's plaguing us, or where we just sin and we're feeling bad. You know, we get over it real quick. Never once do we crack our Bible and say, God, what are you saying on this issue? How do you feel about this? How does this make your heart feel? God is not interested in your maturation as a person. He's interested in your salvation as a servant. You know, I was alarmed this week when Sean Taylor died. Redskin. It's funny how God can use something like that to bring so much perspective into your life. Because here it is, everybody wants to say, and you know, it might have been true. He was really maturing. He was just really stepping into who he was. And ever since his child got here, then, you know, everything, like just his attitude and everything just turned around, and he was just such a great person. I come to tell you tonight, God's not interested in morally good people. It might hurt some of you because some of us thought we were making it in on morally good just deeds. But if you thought that you could make it in on morally good deeds, what need would there be for the sacrifice of his son?
That's word. That's word.
Like for real, if we thought we could just get by with being a good person, what need was it for Jesus? The whole reason Jesus came down and walked the earth was because he was perfect. And here it is that we're imperfect and we do a few good things and we think that it's qualified us for heaven. It don't work like that, man. Check this. The last verse of that joint said it like this. The outward may receive accolades from man, but the inward touches the heart of God. The outward stuff that we're doing. Yeah, people might look at us and say, man, they're on fire for Christ. But God is sitting back saying, there's nothing. There's not even a flicker. God knows your heart. And he's saying, I'm tired of you doing this thing backwards. I'm tired of you saying, you know what, I'm going to do this so that people think that my heart is right. No, God is saying, get your heart right so that I will know that you're with me. If your heart is right, it's going to cause you to do great things. As opposed to your heart, as opposed to you doing great things to change your heart. It won't work that way. If you're only that way outwardly, it doesn't have any effect on the inward. But if you can get your inward right, then it has everything to do with your outward expressions. Everything. This isn't a gloom and doom message because guess what? You still have time to get it right. This is a message that says, you know what? If you only knew how much God had for you, if you only knew where he wanted to take you. If you only knew the doors that he had open for you, if you were just attentive to him, though. I was reading this week in Proverbs chapter 1, it says, you know what? Wisdom cries loud in the public places. It cries aloud in this place, and that place, and this place. And you know what? It led me to believe, you know what? Wisdom is always there. No matter how chaotic my situation is, no matter how much is going through my ears, wisdom is always there. But the question is, am I listening? Am I listening? I'm going to close it like this. I was sitting back, man, and just after Sean Taylor's death, God showed me it this way. He said, you know what? For some, your relationship with God is like being on the phone with that person we just lead on and have feelings for but don't want to tell anybody. When another call beeps in, we put God on hold and never tell them who we were on the phone with. We end up talking to that person and forgetting all about God being on the other line. For some of us, we forget for a minute, others an hour, others a day, some even a year. But here's the crazy thing. When we realized that we were on the phone with him and never clicked back over, when we click back, he's always there. He's always there. And the revelation that God gave me was that, you know what? No matter what, I'll always be there. But guess what? You never ever know when your battery will die out. And you won't have the opportunity to click back over. No, you'll have the opportunity to click back